You are Locked On Phillies Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Philadelphia, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
My, oh my, welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is Locked On Phillies Postcast on our Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Make sure you hit like and subscribe on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Thank you for making Locked On Phillies Postcast your first listen every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts, as well as on YouTube. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's particular episode brought to you by Prize Picks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Go to prizepicks.com/lockedon, all lowercase, for your first deposit match up to $100. Welcome in once again. My name is Mark Farzetta. Phillies win their fourth game in a row. Lou Brown did not have a quote for that one, so I'm not going to wear that one out the way I've been wearing out the other ones for the past couple of weeks. I'm just excited to see the Phillies win four games in a row. Now, here's the deal. The Phillies have won 4 games in a row. They lost that first game against the Marlins, and since then, they've won 4 in a row. When they lost that first game against the Marlins, what I said to you wonderful people, was all I want to see from the Phillies is go 5-1 in this homestand. I said it going into this series. I said it after they dropped their first game of the homestand, and now they've rattled off 4 games in a row. Granted against the Marlins, granted against the Nationals. Close out the 4-game sweep of the Nats tomorrow afternoon at 1:35, and you go 5-1 on this 6-game homestand, on this we're back, baby, homestand, because I'm not doing that. I am not doing the we're back thing. I'm not doing that yet. I said I wasn't going to do it after the Grand Slam, and I'm sure as by golly not going to do it right now. But here's the deal. When I look at this Phillies team, I look at them getting right. And that's the precedent. That's the bar that I set going into this series. For my own mental health and my own well-being, I said going into this series, the Phillies need to go 5-1 to kind of hit the reset button and discover once again, oh, wait a minute, we can hit baseballs. Oh, wait a minute, we can throw baseballs. And then the other team can. This is fun. This is good. We can field baseballs too. Well, maybe we're a good team. Maybe we've been the best team in baseball, best record in baseball for the vast majority of the season up until the last 3-4 weeks, pretty consistently. Maybe we've been that because we are a pretty damn good baseball team. And so far, the Phillies absolutely look like they are getting right in this get-right 6-game homestand against the Marlins and against the Nationals. We referenced yesterday the Phillies' first 4-game winning streak was on the line. First 4-game winning streak since they went to old London town and won their 4th game in a row in the first game of that 2-game series against the Mets in Jolly Old. But Phillies weren't able to do it since then. First 4-game winning streak all the way back June 3rd through June 8th. So 4-game winning streak, good to see you. Let's get into 3 big things as per usual on the program. I'm going to do it. I think I don't know if you guys like it or not, but I think I like it. You guys let me know. Maybe you don't care. Maybe you don't care. I kind of like the buildup. The 3-2-1 as opposed to 1-2-3. You know what I'm saying? So I'll go 3-2-1 again. Number 3, Weston Wilson. Keep it going, baby. Weston Wilson gets a 2-hit night for himself. Weston Wilson is hustling his butt off to get down the first base line every single time. Weston Wilson is hustling his butt off in left field. And Weston Wilson, above all else so far in his limited major league experience this year, obviously is hit for the cycle, gets another 2-hit performance tonight. He is hitting .341 as a big leaguer this year. .341 with now a .362 on base percentage. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Brandon Marsh has not been really good. And Austin Hayes has left a little bit to be desired. I understand he's on the comeback trail and he's trying to get healthy, blah, 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 okay? But Weston Wilson might be that guy. And here's the other thing. The Austin Hayes thing about hitting right-handed pitching, and I've said this even before he was hurt, like, can we stop? Because if he could hit right-handed pitching, it would have costed you a little bit more at the trade deadline than what it did. It would have cost you just a little bit more than what, Sir Anthony Dominguez and Christian Pache? A guy they DFA'd like 6 days later. So, yeah, I think it would have cost you more if he could hit right-handed pitching. He can't hit right-handed pitching. He hit left-handed pitching. So stop with that. Weston Wilson goes out tonight, does himself a huge favor by being able to hit a guy like Mackenzie Moore, a left-handed pitcher. Go figure. You have a guy in Weston Wilson that can hit left-handed pitching. I'd rather see the platoon at this point with Weston Wilson and Brandon Marsh in left field and Johan Rojas as your steady center fielder. Johan Rojas, how about him getting another hit tonight? He definitely deserves a shout-out. So Weston Wilson, of my three big things, number 3, Weston Wilson. Number 2, Nick Castellanos. Phillies had a little trouble crossing the plate last night. Phillies had a little trouble coming up with some clutch hits in tonight's game. Last night, Nick Castellanos stepped up to the plate in the 4th inning, I believe it was, 2 outs. He steps up and he delivers an RBI base knock to get the Phillies on the board. Nick Castellanos tonight steps up in the 4th inning. Phillies are down 1-0 at this point in the game, thanks to the, I believe it was the second hit, or the first hit of the ball game, surrendered by Cristopher Sanchez, was the solo home run by Call in the 4th inning, top of the 4th inning. Got a slider up in the zone. He hit it out of the park. It was a 1-0 lead there for the Washington Nationals. Then in the bottom of the 4th inning, the Phillies get up to the plate. Trey Turner leads off with a walk. Bryce Harper promptly grounds into a 4-6-3 double play. That was that. Bohm works a walk. Lucky that he worked a walk in that situation. If you remember this, it was a 3-2 count. He got a slider, I think it was, at the top of the zone. Bottom of the zone. It was a strike. It got a good amount of the strike zone, enough to be a strike. It was called a ball by Marquez, so Bohm trotted on down the line for a 2-out walk. Up next stepped Nick Castellanos. Nick Castellanos did the thing that most people hate that he does, which is jump on a first pitch. He tried to jump on a first pitch. This time he took that first pitch with 2 outs, a runner on first, and he put it into the right center field gap, and Alec Bohm, Raffy himself, the giraffe, was galloping around the bases like a gazelle, and he scored on the 2-out double by Nick Castellanos, and the Phillies got on the board, and the Phillies tied the game 1-1. Castellanos started the offense for the Phillies tonight, just like he did last night. We've been talking for the last couple of weeks about how hot a hitter he has been for the Phillies over the last really 3 months of the season now. And August, he is continuing that push. We mentioned the batting averages last night, talking about a 275 guy, 274 guy, and now a guy hitting about 310 in the month of August. Love to see it. Overall, Nick Castellanos now in the season has gotten it feels like he was at 200 or struggling to get over 200. It feels like that was yesterday. That was 2.5 months ago. Now he's a damn near 250 hitter with a 305 on base percentage and getting on second base pretty consistently for Nick Castellanos. So I'd love to see that from Nick Castellanos 2 nights in a row, coming up clutch with RBI 2-out base knocks for the Phillies to get the offense going. Now, before I get to number 1, and I think you know who number 1's going to be, okay? Numero uno, okay? Before I go there, I just talked about 2 offensive players. There was only 1 Phillies player tonight that did not record a hit. Do you know who that was? And I'm going to blame my cousin for this. My cousin Sean, if you're watching, this is your fault. My cousin texted me today and said, "Hey, when's this game going to start?" He's in Baltimore. He's not even a Phillies fan. And he goes, "When's this game going to start?" And I'm like, "Well, they're honoring the late, great David Montgomery. So you show some respect, young man." He goes, "I got to bet on Harper to hit 2 hits, to get 2 hits in the game." And I'm like, okay. So who was the only Philly to not only not get, well, he didn't get 2 hits, but who's the only Philly to not get a hit? Bryce Harper was the only Philly not to get a hit. So I blame my cousin Sean for putting the Maloik, putting the jinx on Bryce Harper. How dare you, Sean? How dare you? Bryce Harper 0 for 4 tonight. He did hit the first, at his first at bat, did hit the ball really hard to Yepes there at first base, but he lined out, and that was that. But the only Philly tonight to not record a hit was Bryce Harper. The Phillies also got 5 runs in this ball game without the use of a home run. What? Is that even allowed? The Phillies can get runs without hitting home runs? I didn't know that was possible. Well, I did it tonight. 5 runs. Castellanos had a double tonight. Trey Turner had a double tonight. Those were the only extra base hits of the ball game for the Phillies. That was it. Of the 10 hits they had tonight, the rest of them were bingles, baby. That's it. 2 doubles, 8 singles. No home runs in this evening's ball game. So now that I've covered the offense, let's get to number one. Cristopher Sanchez. Holy pots and pans, young man. Dominant. Those when we were talking about Cristopher Sanchez in the early goings of the year, we were talking about a guy that just was methodical. Like we talked about Ranger Suarez in the same light, just methodical, just like surgical on the mound. And I'm watching his pitch counts in the game, and I'm tracking them throughout the innings. Okay, 9 pitch first inning, 8 pitch second inning. He really labored in the third with 11 pitches. He had 11 pitches in the fourth inning, 11 pitches in the fifth inning. Oh, my goodness. 14 pitches in the sixth, 13 in the seventh, 9 pitches in the eighth inning. Oh, goodness. He was really laboring. And then I did not record the amount of pitches he had in the final inning, but in the ninth inning, let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12, 13 pitches in the ninth inning. And how about this? His 92nd pitch of the evening clocked at 95 miles per hour. It was a 95-mile-per-hour sinker that he threw up to Young and popped him in at 95 miles per hour, his 92nd pitch of the night. In total, he threw 99, avoided the 100-pitch mark, and threw a second complete game of the season, allowing just 2 hits, 1 run. It was the home run, unfortunately, by call. He struck out 4, and he walked nobody. No free passes. And one of the best parts about watching him in this evening's ball game, when you talk about just a guy that was locked in, I mean, he's not a strikeout pitcher by any means. He's never been. Sometimes he goes off the rails a little bit and he'll have himself a good night, with the strikeouts and all that. But when it came to ground balls versus flyouts, 15 ground ball outs, 8 fly ball outs. That's a guy who's locked in, inducing ground balls. His changeup looked really good tonight. I thought his sinker looked really good tonight. And that was really what was his bread and butter throughout tonight's ball game. Cristopher Sanchez, huge tip of the cap to him for recording his second complete game of the season. Good for the young man. Also picks up his 9th win of the year. Good to see him be able to record a win. It's been a minute, it feels like, since he was able to actually record. It was the Dodgers game. He had a win. Before that, his last win didn't come until was all the way back on June 10th. So that had been, July 10th. So it had been a little while since he recorded a win before that one. But yeah, now 9-8 on the season. Love to see that. Going back, he had a 3-hitter against the Marlins back on the 28th of June. That was his last complete game. And then, unfortunately, he got rocked a little bit in his next start. He threw 101 pitches in that complete game. He threw 99 this time around, but he did get rocked in Chicago against the Cubs. 7 runs, 4 innings of work. But Cristopher Sanchez tonight, focused on the positive, was absolutely dominant in his outing tonight. I do give the Phillies defense some credit tonight. They definitely showed up. There wasn't many instances where they had to be tested. Bryce Harper made himself a nice diving play there at first base to help the cause in the early goings of the ball game, to help keep the Nationals off the board, and really just super play. Actually, it was the 6th inning that Bryce Harper did that, and that just continued to help the cause. Way to go. Defense, way to go. Cristopher Sanchez, making it pretty easy on the Phillies defense. On the Phillies, Phillies defense. One thing, I know in the 9th inning, there's some question about whether or not that was a hit or an error charged to Trey Turner. It was ruled, I thought it was going to be ruled a hit. It was not. So Cristopher Sanchez still 2 hits in the ball game, not 3. And when they did replay it, a good throw from Trey Turner gets the out at first. So absolutely should have been and was ruled a throwing error by Trey Turner. So yeah, 2-hit, 1-run performance over 9 innings for Cristopher Sanchez. Love to see it. When we come back, we'll focus on some other guys in this ball game tonight that really stole the show. If you could steal the show from Cristopher Sanchez off the baseball field, there was something that did take place tonight that I want to make sure I highlight, and we'll get to that in a second when we return here, Locked On Sports Philadelphia, on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, Locked On Phillies postcast. Also, get to your comments coming up in a minute. Back in a few. Liquid IV. Do you enjoy Liquid IV? Have you tried Liquid IV? You haven't tried Liquid IV? What are you waiting for? Liquid IV is fantastic. when you're taking in America's pastime, like a hot summer day, watching a ball game, might get a little dehydrated sitting there in the stands. Well, before you do that, before you go to the ballpark, maybe before you play in your men's league, your softball league, whatever the case might be, your ladies league, whatever it is, your beer league, whatever it is, hydrate with Liquid IV. Liquid IV. And how about their new flavor? Popsicle firecracker flavor, a surefire summer hit. Get hydrated with electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients from the number one powdered hydration brand in America. Because baseball and summer go together like Liquid IV and indulgent hydration. Blast off with the iconic summer flavor of Popsicle Firecracker, as I mentioned. Festive blend of citrus-fueled lemon, tart cherry, and raspberry flavors. Flavor overload while getting great hydration. Tear, pour, live more. 1 stick of Liquid IV plus 16 ounces of water hydrates better than water alone. Powered by Live Hydra Science, an optimized ratio of electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients that turn ordinary water into extraordinary hydration. No more thirsty summers when you get indulge with hydration with Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order at liquidiv.com. That's liquidiv.com. 20% off your first order when you use promo code MLB at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code MLB at liquidiv.com. Once again, thank you for making Locked On Phillies Postcast your first listen. Make sure you enjoy your second listen as well with Locked On MLB Podcast by host Paul Sully Sullivan. He's here daily to provide national expertise with his trademark humor to help you get ready for the MLB playoffs and through the dog days of summer. Prepare for the Fall Classic with Sully, who has it all covered every single day on Locked On MLB, available on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I want to take 1 second and talk about David Montgomery, who the Phillies honored tonight by putting up in their Wall of Fame. Their owner, their managing partner for all those years, started in the ticket sales office and, of course, worked his way up and took over for Bill Giles and just was a really awesome person. Not just a great owner, but an awesome personality and a great asset to the city of Philadelphia. And really worked at that for a very long time. And my own personal experiences with David Montgomery, it was always, and I remember when he passed, I remember telling the story about just how anytime I was around him, which was only few and far between, but when I was around him, it was always high mark, like very, very intentional when he was around anyone. And I felt like, I almost felt bad. I'm like, this guy seems to really know me and I don't really know him. I know who he is. I know his reputation, and this guy just seems so intentional with me. Like, just such a genuine human being. You felt like when you were talking to him, he was your best friend. You felt like you had this familiarity with him that you just couldn't explain. Like some people just have that, where you just automatically feel comfortable. Where the people that you don't really know that well, but you know that if they said, "No, come over, have a cup of coffee or whatever," and you didn't know him that well, but you would know it's okay, and you'd feel comfortable doing that. That's David Montgomery. So I remember talking about this when he passed, and then everyone that I talked to after that said, "Yeah, that was him. That was just how he was with everyone. Like no matter how little you knew him, if you ever had a conversation with him, you were locked in his brain, and that was the type of personality that he was. That's the type of person he was." And I absolutely love what the Phillies did for him. And I didn't realize all these years, 20 years now at Citizens Bank Park, I didn't even realize that the angled walls in center field were to replicate angled walls at Connie Mack Stadium, the stadium my dad grew up going to. So he wanted to give that back a little bit of a throwback to Connie Mack Stadium. I didn't know that. So then tonight they unveiled Monty's wall there in center field. Or Monty's angle, excuse me. And I just thought that was a wonderful tribute. The fact that he did describe Doug Glanville, the Phillies center fielder at the time, that he'll get to these balls. He's got to be on his toes, And they had Doug Glanville, Dougie, as they were calling him tonight, take down the banner to unveil that. That was pretty special. Job well done by the Philadelphia Phillies, honoring a great man in David Montgomery. Absolutely love that. Let's get to your comments on tonight's ball game as to what the Phillies were able to do tonight, what they were able to accomplish. Let's get to it. John Marinelli, Sanchez is back, baby. I love that the idea of just being back is so great. IBH, good evening, everyone. Wow, complete game, 99 pitches, 2 hits. No walks is also pretty awesome. Michael Evans is going on. If Wilson keeps this up, how can Topper justify taking him out of the lineup? He can't. He can't. John Marinelli, Stott and Marsh are playing themselves out of the lineup. That is unfortunate, but true. Here's the deal. We're not just looking at a team trying to get back on track. You know what I mean? We're not just like, oh, can they get back to consistently being the best record in the National League, consistently being the best record in baseball? Can they consistently get back? Can they get back to that type of consistency? It's not just about that anymore. You know what else it's about? It's about preparing for the playoffs and making sure that you're putting up guys in the corner outfield spots. Excuse me. You're putting up guys in left field that will give you the best chance to win. Is that Brandon Marsh? I don't know. And I know Brandon Marsh had a clutch. He only got credit for the single last night, but he jumped on a 3-1 fastball, clobbered the 3-1 fastball last night, found himself on second base at the end of that by taking advantage of a throwing error. But the lefty thing, he was tested, failed. Austin Hayes, the whole righty thing, tested, failed. Weston Wilson might be a guy to go up there and start raking for this Phillies team. And do the Phillies, when they play teams that are better than the Marlins or better than the Nationals, do the Phillies to you look like a team that can afford to keep waiting on somebody? Do they look like a team that can afford to look at Weston Wilson's hot bat right now and go, no, we don't need it? Is that what they look like to you? Because that's not what they look like to me. They look like a team that's like, oh, hot bat, thank God, get in the lineup. That's what they look like to me. John Marinelli, what's going on? IBH? Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah. So, John Marinelli, our official scorekeeper. Thank you, John. In all sincerity, thank you. Morgan Landy, is this okay? Can we go Sanchez with Cristopher Sanchez? I feel like Sanchez has a bad connotation to it. Let's get the sweep tomorrow. Heck yeah, man. Spurger, what's going on? Well, at least the Phillies own the Washington Walgreens. That is never not funny to me. Their logo is the same thing as Walgreens. That's pretty awesome. Oh, look at this. IBH and John Marinelli helping each other out. Thumbs up, brother. There you go. Michael Evans going on. I wonder if Sanchez realizes that he pitched the gem in front of Philadelphia's best left-handed pitcher of all time. Oh, Carlton was in there. How about that? Yeah. I don't know if he realizes that. I would assume. And Sanchez has been here long enough to know that Steve Carlton's pretty good at pitching, or was pretty good at pitching. Love, love, love. They did it with small ball. Michael Evans says, yes, I do too. No homers. 8 singles. Nice to see all the small hits strung together like that. Need to keep it up against the better teams, Buddy Christ. You're absolutely right. Sanchez really locked in as the game went on. Great bounce back for him. And we won with small ball, baby, says Bam Man 100. Wait, Casty had 2 runs tonight? Did I miss the 2 RBIs? Did I not say that? Or he scored 2 runs? What am I blacked out. What happened? Ba-da-boop-ba-dee-beep. Yeah, 2. Bohm had 2 runs. Okay. Casty had two hits. Yeah. One run, 1 RBI. All right. There we go. Can't you be, officer? Hello. I'm going to I don't know why I do a German accent, sort of, when I do that. I'm going to the game tomorrow with Ty Booty Walker on the mound. Pray for my sanity that the offense is on. Good luck to you. Give Sanchez a round of applause. Absolutely. Dean, that's called 4 in a row. That's a winning streak. Sean Kilrain. Hey, shouldn't you be taking the missus out to dinner for her birthday today? Sean, don't think I forgot about Nancy's birthday plans. Anyway, Sanchez, hell of a complete game. Absolutely 15 ground balls. That's what I like to see. Crazy. If we got Luis Roberts instead of keeping Rojas and Wilson, we'd be in the gutter right now. Yeah, Luis Roberts sucks right now. He sucks. The game is wrong. Was it KGB officer was a Jazz Chisholm activist. More than anyone, though. That's true. John Merrily Harper, I know. I had Nikki 3 buttons. Leap talking that or keep talking that ish. Thursday is the day we hit home run. Brandon Kelly, what's going on? Nice having Stott and Marshoff, says Matthew. We'll see if they're able to bounce back. Oh, the birthday dinner's tomorrow with the family and in-laws. As far as Miss Guzzi. Thanks, everybody in the chat. You guys are wonderful, as per usual. Coming up, we'll take a look at what the Phillies need to keep on keeping on in order to finish out this sweep of the Washington Nationals. Back in a second, you're Locked On Sports Philadelphia and your Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, Locked On Phillies Postcast with yours truly, Mark Farzetta. Make sure you hit like and subscribe on the Locked On Phillies, or excuse me, Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Do that right now. Back in a second. Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. Prize Picks is the easiest, most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps on Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. And all you got to do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Get in on the daily action with your friends and become part of the Prize Picks community today. You can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000. And if you're looking for a promotion, Prize Picks has you covered every week. From lowering select player stat projections on Tuesdays to help your lineup hit or getting your entry fees back if you have a losing lineup on Fridays. Download the Prize Picks app today. That's download the Prize Picks app today and use promo code LOCKEDON, MLB, all lowercase, for a first deposit match up to $100. That's Locked On MLB on Prize Picks for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more, pick less. It's just that easy with Prize Picks. 1:35 start time tomorrow afternoon. Sunday. Now, the Phillies won't have another 1 o'clock hour start time for, I believe, 3 more weeks. I think September 8th, I think, is their next 1 o'clock hour start time. So that's what's going on for the Phillies. But they'll go for 5 wins in a row. Tomorrow, Jake Irvin gets the start for the Washington Nationals. He's 9-5 on the season with a 3.72 ERA. He'll go against Taijuan Walker. We'll get to him, but you kind of know how he's been doing lately. Jake Irvin's coming off a 6-inning, 2-run, 7-hit performance against the Baltimore Orioles. Previous to that, he went up against the San Francisco Giants in a 7-4 loss by the Nationals. He went 5 innings, allowing 5 runs on 8 hits and 3 long balls in that one, for a total of 4 home runs he surrendered in his last 2 games. He did face the Phillies back all the way back on May 17th, and that was a 5-inning, 4-run performance. He did not surrender a home run in that ball game, but it was a 5-inning, 4 runs, all earned on 5 hits, walked 1, only struck out 2. Previous to that, on April 6th, he went up against the Phillies, went 6 innings, allowing 4 runs on 5 hits. Sound familiar? It was his first loss of the season. So the Phillies have gotten the better of him in both starts against him this season. That's what Jake Irvin brings to the table. Right-handed pitcher, 27 years old. Taijuan Walker. Hey, let's keep the good vibes going, okay? I'm not gonna go down the path of negativity with Taijuan Walker. Taijuan Walker's gonna deal tomorrow. Here's my line for Taijuan Walker tomorrow. Ready for this? Taijuan Walker tomorrow. 6 innings. You heard me. 90 pitches. 6 innings. 5 hits. 2 runs. 6 innings, 2 runs, both earned. Taijuan Walker tomorrow, 90 pitches. Book it, baby. Phillies hit 10 home runs. They can't just win a game and then not hit any home runs the next day. Bryce Harper, 3 for 4 with a dinger. That's right. Book it. Here's what I need to see for the Phillies. The level of focus and concentration in this lineup tonight in particular was fantastic. And what I mean by that is for Nick Castellanos to get 2 hits, both his hits came on first pitches. Now, I've given Nick Castellanos a lot of credit. I've defended him for the first pitch thing a lot of the season. But when Nick Castellanos goes up to the plate, he's just being aggressive. He has had 8 pitch at bats, 9 pitch at bats more regularly than I can remember in his 2.5 years as a Philly. He's had those over the last 2-3 months. But when he goes up there, his plan is to get a pitch he can drive. And if that's the first pitch, so be it. That's the first pitch. He goes up there for his 2-out RBI double in the 4th inning. It was the first pitch of the at-bat. It was a fastball. He drove it. The next time he was up, he got another pitch that hung out over the middle of the plate. This one was a first pitch curveball, which is why he pulled this one. He was late on the first one, the fastball. He was early on the curveball, and he drove that in the left field for a base knock, a first pitch curveball. The concentration you have to have as you're swinging through the zone is pretty special. Alec Bohm, to have the 35-game on-base streak that he has pulled together, you have to have that concentration. This lineup, for everybody to hit, Weston Wilson, other than Bryce Harper, that means you have to be locked in. And the Phillies were absolutely locked in. And credit to Kyle Schwarber. I know they booted it at second base in tonight's ballgame, but Kyle Schwarber's hit for his only hit of the game, he was busting it down the line from contact. He knew that ball was deep in the hole, could leak into center field, and you want to make sure that he beat that out. The hustle and the concentration, I want to keep seeing that from this Philadelphia Phillies ball club. Hustle, concentration. If you're a good baseball team, if you're a good team in any sport, if you're busting your ass and you are locked in and focused, a lot of good things are going to happen. And that's what we've been able to enjoy over the last 4 games. Are they playing underwhelming opponents? Yes. But the problems don't lie with the opposing team. The problems with the Phillies lie in the clubhouse. And ever since that team meeting, Trey Turner, now 3 games since the day off, Trey Turner has now 8 hits with his 1 hit tonight. Trey Turner now has 8 hits, which now matches his total from the previous 11 games combined leading up to the day off. So the day off for him, combined with the team meeting where Bryce Harper basically said, if you're not going to show up and work hard every day, you're probably in the wrong place. That seemed to send the right message that grabbed some attention. And they were able to play a team where you could build up some of that confidence. And I think that does go into why it was necessary now to have that team meeting. Because you were going up against inferior opponents. And I don't say that as a knock. I say that if you want the message to really be driven home, then you need results. And the Phillies knew they could get some results against these opponents. So the Phillies being able to go out there in these last 4 games and kind of prove it to themselves, they can get back on track that, okay, no, we know how to hit baseballs. We know how to throw baseballs. We know how to win games. That'll only help them when they go up against the Braves. That'll only help them when they go up against the Astros. That'll only help them when they go up against the Royals. That'll only help them when they go up against the New York Mets as well. So this is only going to help them as the season winds down. As I look at it right now, the Mets, they shut out the Marlins, so they took care of business there. The Braves and the Angels get underway in just a couple of minutes in Los Angeles. As for your LA Dodgers, they're down 5-2 right now to the St. Louis Cardinals in the bottom of the 8th inning in St. Louis. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. You guys are fantastic. Make sure you hit like and subscribe to the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. That's Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Thanks, everybody. Be back with you guys tomorrow afternoon. Sean Kilroy, my wife says, thank you. Italians don't forget. It's locked up there in my testadora. All right. Anyway, love the tribute to Choots. That was nice too. Despise the Mets. All right, cool stuff. All right. Thanks everybody in the chat. You guys are great. Be back with you guys. Tomorrow afternoon following the Phillies completing the sweep. Taijuan Walker, 6 innings, 2 runs. Book it, baby. Of the Washington Nationals tomorrow. Have a great rest of your night, everybody. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.